Welcome to the Bulldog State of Mind podcast, brought to you by the Fresno State Staff Assembly Executive Committee. Here are your hosts, Belinda Munoz and Melissa Norris.
We are excited to welcome Robyn Gutierrez to a Bulldog State of Mind. Robyn has been at Fresno State for 22 years and has worked in admissions and degree evaluations and records. She now serves as a Veteran Services Program Coordinator, which she shares has been a rewarding experience for her and that she simply cannot imagine not working with our military students. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
So we've heard a little bit from Belinda's introduction about your career path at Fresno State, but I'd love to start out by having you just share a little bit more about your personal journey and kind of how you found your way to serving our military students at Fresno State.
Well, I am a daughter of a veteran and a sister and a mother. So we've been involved with our military for quite some time. And like I said, when I came to work at Fresno State, I knew about the position. It wasn't open at the time. But when it did become available, I immediately applied. Within like 15 minutes, it came out. I was like, oh. And I actually went to the person that I knew that was working as the lead. And I go, I am your perfect person. I said, because I will take care of these students. So absolutely, yes.
I love that. Sounds like it was a great match made for you.
I think it was, yes. And I've, like I said, thoroughly enjoyed it. And I always refer to the students that, well, my veterans, they're my veterans. And, I want to make sure my veterans are taken care of.
I can definitely see that. My daughter is a veteran. My shirt. I raised my hero. Most people don't get to meet theirs, and I raised mine. But she is a veteran, and like you, I have this special place in my heart for military families and veterans because it really is a whole community.
Absolutely.
When you, just supporting my daughter and when she was gone and going over to when she graduated and seeing how many other, I say kids because of course they were all
they all look like babies. They did. They all look like babies.
But there's just, just how they all just came together and some of them who did not have families with them, how we were able to just embrace them and bring them in with us and get to know them. And so it really is a community. So I can understand why you said that was a job for me.
Yeah, it is. And funny you should talk about the community. And I don't think we've ever discussed this, but twice my husband and I had an opportunity to participate in a Tiger cruise with the Navy. So we had to get ourselves over to Hawaii, but we came back home on the aircraft carrier with our military. And it was like a 4-day cruise, but to be able to sit in the galley and talk to these young men and women from all over the United States. And actually, I talked to a young lady who was from Guam, and she told me what her inspiration was and how she wanted to make the military her career. But to live on board that ship for that 4 or 5 days with 5,000 of our military, and that's with the air wing on, of course. But it was phenomenal to be on that ship and listen and talk to those young.
Sounds like such an incredible opportunity.
It was wonderful. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Well, I haven't had a chance to do that. I feel like I need to make that happen in my near future. So, could you talk a little bit more about how you support our military students at Fresno State and maybe some of the unique challenges and experiences by our military veteran community?
Certainly. So our office, the Veterans Resource Center here on campus, and Christy Gordon is our other advisor and certifying official. And then Christy is a Coast Guard veteran. Froy Zavala is an Army veteran, and he's our administrative assistant. So between the three of us, our primary position here is to make sure that our students they know what benefits they have. They know how to, if they haven't yet, how to reach out, how to apply for those benefits. We advocate for them in capacities. There's for the students who have the post 9/11, they can, if they're in a STEM program, they can get an additional benefit. And I was working with a student today, contacting somebody at the Department of Veterans Affairs in Buffalo, New York. trying to get an update and such. But our primary goal in that office is to make it a welcoming, open, safe place for our veterans to come. And that's how they look at it. They look at it, it's their place, it's their safe place. They can hang out, they can relax, they can be themselves. It's a no judgment zone, as several of them have mentioned that they really enjoy being in the Veterans Resource Center. So, again, our main goal is to make sure that they are getting their services, they know what they can have here on campus, our resources, our student services with disabilities. We encourage our students to apply for that. Had a student say, oh man, I ran out of time taking that test. I didn't get the answer. So that was the first time he had heard about, signing up and getting the extra test time. So he did that immediately. But, we've had students, I had a former student that due to his military service was losing his eyesight. So we were able to set him up with not only a note taker, but they recorded, the lectures and things. And that's something that you don't really think about it until you have a need for it. So he was very appreciative. He did complete his degree, and so he's very excited about that. And now his daughter is here at Fresno State. Yeah. But, and then again, in our community, I had someone ask me yesterday about, well, what's actually here? And I said, it's not only just here in Fresno. I said the entire San Joaquin Valley is one large military community. The resources up and down the valley, from Bakersfield to Merced and further stretches beyond what we can imagine. But I said, we can just reach out and touch any resource that our students might need. So a call away, an email away, we can get that for them.
Yeah, I think that's what's incredible. I mean, not only do you have the space where there's that sense of community, I get to be with others who are like me, who understand my shared experiences, but it just in being in that space and asking questions, you're able to connect them to a lot of those amazing resources that they may not know about.
Yeah.
And then being that comfortable to share how they're feeling and that they didn't get a chance to finish their test scores, or their tests in the allotted time for them, because sometimes students look at that as, oh, it's a problem
Yes.
if I don't do it. So the fact that they're that comfortable to be able to share that.
They do. They share amongst themselves. They'll come in and share with excuse me with us. And I've had some of them just really be more on a personal sharing situation. They're not doing well in the class, and they're just, I got to get that A. And so again, we have other services here on campus that we can connect them with, the health center. I know recently we've been contacted by a department that breathing exercise. So we're going to bring that department in and have them start working with our students that might need that calm breathing exercise. But you know how it is taking a test. You get a little anxiety about it, and you're wanting to do your best, and then you just tense up, and then you run out of time. So it's been he really appreciated that. In fact, he came in yesterday and said, oh man, that is going to be so helpful. And I honestly, he goes, I didn't know about it. So we encourage the students to have those discussions, not only amongst themselves, but if there's anything they need, our doors are open. They can come in. They don't have to make an appointment. It's walk-ins all the time. And they're able to do that. And I think that makes a lot of difference to them too, that they don't have to make that appointment that might be 2 or 3 weeks out. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's wonderful. We've talked a little bit about kind of some of the unique experiences that they have, but also tapping into how we support their mental health and well-being. I know you talked about the Student Health and Counseling Center. I know you have a contact who you work with through Veterans for mental health support as well, correct?
Yes. We actually, our health center has an MOU with the VA Medical Center, and Dr. Paul Passion Gonzalez is here at any time. Now, normally he's here about 2 times a month, and he just comes in and hangs out in the VRC, and several students have taken appointments with him on a personal basis, and he's been helping them through their challenges and such. We have the Student Support Services TRIO program for veterans. Russell Gross is, overseeing that right now. In fact, we did our tacos for Tuesday yesterday, and then our ice cream sundaes on Wednesday today. So they've come in and given a program on their services and what they can provide for the students while they're here on campus. And then, of course, like I said, we have that pre-program through continuing global education. The Veterans Education Program, we're the only campus in the CSU system that has that. So that's that second chance for that military person that maybe high school didn't work for them, or trying to take college before they went in or in the service doesn't meet our requirements. So taking those 4 foundation courses and passing them, C's or better, then they're guaranteed admissions to Fresno State the following fall. And actually tomorrow, the current cohort that is here, it will be submitting their fall 25 applications. So yeah, it's been a very successful program. Like I said, we have a student that went on to law school that normally wouldn't have been coming to Fresno State if it hadn't have been a buddy of him told him about the Veterans Education Program. We have a current student that's finishing his master's degree in social work. So been a very productive and rewarding program for our veteran students.
It's incredible work that you're doing.
Well, I'm not doing that, but we help.
Hey, it's a whole package
Dr.
deal of
Moore,
what you guys are offering.
yeah, but
though.
Dr. Moore, he's very proud of his program, and he deserves to be. So it's been quite rewarding for everyone, including the students.
Well, you mentioned earlier about it being a whole community,
Mm-hmm.
and not just on the Fresno State campus, but just in our general area and our community, even outside of Fresno State, where we all pull together and we pool our resources and we do everything that we possibly can for our students, and in this case specifically for our veteran students. You and I have talked before, and I've mentioned that my daughter goes to City, and when she was going to Fresno City, just walking onto the campus was a little intimidating, and they were so welcoming and brought her in and showed her the ropes and talked, pulled resources and who to talk to and everything, and it was really nice. I just wanted to give what you mentioned earlier is it really is a full community here, and eventually she'll be over here with you, and I'm sure she's going to enjoy every moment that she is with you guys as well.
We have a relationship with our community colleges. In fact, we actually have a tour coming up this month with 2 of our community colleges. They're going to bring their veteran students over. They can get a firsthand look at the campus and such. And I can understand too, they said, well, even though they've been here, they're a little apprehensive about arriving at Fresno State. I said, just come on down. We'll ease all their worries, So yeah, we're looking for that towards that tour later on this month.
Well, before we wrap up today, is there anything else you'd like to share regarding your program or anything about any veteran?
Well, I just think that for our side, I think we are a little unique that we've been able to, bring in these resources, and we do have a rep from the Veterans Voc Rehab Department. He's here now today, Wednesday, and since September they've been coming every Wednesday. So it's made a big difference in these students who are looking at applying for that program to continue on with their education. In fact, he was very busy this morning. I think he had like 5 students, and they really enjoyed the fact that they could come just right here on campus in between classes to talk to this representative, to get their application started or see what the status is of it being approved and if there's any more documentation. And he takes care of all of the students with that. He said, that he, within the second visit, he said, I realized this was such a welcoming center for our veterans, and also told his supervisor that he wants every Wednesday to be his job here at Fresno State. So, which is great for us. The students get to know him and they feel comfortable. A couple of them came in today. He's assisted them. They've gotten their benefits, and they just stop in to thank him for being here on campus. So, again, I just think it's the fact that Fresno State has given us the opportunity to have a Veterans Resource Center. Although we need a bigger space, but I got to throw that in there.
Plug. Let's advocate for that.
Yeah, yes, but I mean, the students are thankful for what they have, and they really appreciate Fresno State supporting them.
Well, and again, you do a lot. I'm curious. One of the things we like to ask some of our guests on A Bulldog State of Mind: how do you take time to prioritize your own self-care and mental health? I think when we're in these student-facing positions, we're doing so much and giving so much of ourselves to others, but what do you do for yourself to support your mental health and well-being?
Well, I have a little activity, horseback riding. I compete in the quarter horse. I'm a member of the American Quarter Horse Association, and I do compete. And I think it's just being around my horses. I really enjoy my horses, and going out to the different shows and getting to meet people, and seeing them, and you get to know them. They become your friends, and you're texting, and hey, are you going to this show? I'm going to enter these classes, and it's just a really fun time with the horses. And we have friends that rope, so we hang out at their roping. I don't rope, mind you, but we hang out their roping arenas and stuff, and it's a good activity. It's just a lot of fun. And that's my mental health right there.
I love that. We all have to have that
Yes.
outlet, that
Yes.
source. And I'm glad to see that you spend your time in that way. And we just so appreciate all of the great work you're doing here at Fresno State. You and your team, I know it is very much that community effort. And our students, I know very much are appreciative of what you're doing as well.
Right. And I did mention my coworkers, but I think I also would like to mention Laura Yeager. She's our university registrar, but also the director of Veterans Affairs. And she has been our biggest champion. If there's anything we need, she's right there, and reaching out to whomever that she can to see that we have the resource, or find a way that if it's possible that we can get this, that, or the other. But Laura's been a great advocate for not only the Veterans Resource Center, but also our students. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's great to hear. And again, thank you for being with us today and
thank you, ladies.
sharing all of the services. And we look forward to everything else that you guys
Yeah.
continue to do and grow, and hopefully at one time or another get that space that you're looking for.
Or addition, go up, But thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, that was very nice having Robyn here today and sharing a little bit about our veterans and all the upcoming events that are happening, and just a nice way of sharing some stories regarding our veterans and the space that they have and the things that Fresno State are doing for them on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. I think there's even so much more than even I might have realized that they offer.
Absolutely.
And I think just creating that space where our veterans feel a sense of community and belonging on campus is just a really powerful tool right there alone.
And I don't think a lot of people understand. As I mentioned earlier with Robyn, being from a military family, I've got my daughter, my sister, nieces, nephews, uncles. Just a whole line of family of veterans. It really is a community, and it really is. There's just so much that happens and that they go through that not all of us understand. But it's really nice to see that when they come together, that they have that space with others, veterans who can share stories and just understand each other maybe in a different way than we do. But it's also nice as a family member to not only have that and support that, but then it helps teach us, and including us as like staff, to really understand how we can support our veterans, whether it's someone, our neighbor, or on campus, or even maybe a colleague.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have, or I know that we have veterans who are employees here, and just how to be able to support them and understand them in any way that we can.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know that Robyn didn't get a chance to talk specifically about it, but I know that they offer their VetNet Ally training, which I know you've had a chance to participate in, correct?
Yes, I have. And I think, again, being a family of veterans, there was a lot of it that I might have been aware of, but there was a lot of it that I don't think I really understood until I did the VetNet training. Because it really teaches you how to sometimes just appreciate them. And one of the things that I realized, not only within that training, but I went back and I asked some of my family members, and I said, how does that make you feel when we say thank you for your service? And, there was some of them that came back and said, sometimes I don't know how to respond, because there's some people who look at it in such a negative way, and there's others who look at it in such a positive way, that it was them having to stand firm in what they believe in and saying, thank you, and, just appreciate the fact that somebody is thanking them for their service. It was nice to hear that in the training. They also just a lot of the services that Robyn mentioned today, it's nice to know those services. So when you're speaking to someone and you can say, oh, by the way,
Yeah.
that we do have this, we do have that. And I know that my daughter, even prior to, I know she's going to City now, but she had come in and she had spoken to Christy and Robyn and all of them in there, and they just welcomed her, with open arms. And so, but knowing that, so as a VetNet ally myself, I was able to share with my daughter, who then came in, and others.
Yeah.
Anyone else that I know who is a veteran and looking into getting education, or those who are skeptical and thinking, I'm not sure if I can do this. It's nice to know, hey, we have supporting services for you. So it's a
And
great
as professionals,
training.
I think in higher education, I look at it as it's our responsibility to learn more about how to best serve our students. So this is one of those resources that I think is really incredible when you're not informed and it's not a community that you're familiar with. To get educated in that way, to ask questions. I mean, I love that you asked that question. It's something I've questioned myself of, is that the right thing to say? How does that feel? And I think that's an incredible space to ask those questions in a really safe way, but then to be able to have that knowledge and information so we can make those connections for our students when we're working with them.
Right. So I encourage anyone, if you have the time, go get the training. It's such great information, and it doesn't hurt, right?
Not at all.
That also reminds me of just recently, my uncle had the opportunity to do the honor flight.
That's right. I remember you sharing.
And we got to be there at the airport when he got back. Now, what was extra special about this is not only because he's my uncle, because I adore him and I love him so much, but it's just seeing how many people from the community were at the airport when we got there with signs and flags. And the Blue Star Moms were a wonderful group who helped support it and let everyone know what was happening and what to do. And just it was such a great program with the Blue Star Moms. But that honor flight, when my uncle got back, it was exciting, and we got to see him. And because we knew that he didn't get the homecoming that all veterans deserve. During that time, he says he got on a bus and it dropped him off in town, and then he walked home, and there was no one there to give him that warm
Celebrate him. Yeah.
homecoming that he deserved. And then even up until recently, he had a hard time sleeping. Nobody really understood what he went through when he was gone, and as much as we try to understand it, we just don't, right? Unless you've lived through it. But he was having a hard time sleeping at night, and since he's gone on this honor flight, he's been able to sleep. It was like that, like he just needed to go back with his peers and his, fellow veterans, and then get that homecoming that they deserved. And it's just made it's such an impact on him.
That's so special. I appreciate you sharing that story and that experience, and what a powerful opportunity, not only for him, but for you as well and your family.
Yes, it was very nice. And the Blue Star Moms, I just want to mention, I kind of mentioned it earlier when I was talking to Robyn about a personal experience when I went with my daughter when she graduated from boot camp. And there was a lot of, again, kids, who I say are kids, but they're adults, who didn't have family there. And what the Blue Star Moms do is they send packages over. So even if they do have other family members, it's fine. But for those who don't have family members who send over packages and stuff, they put packages together, they send it over, they send cards and just letters, just reminding them that someone is thinking about them and praying for them. So impactful. And, when it comes from a mom who has a veteran, I think there's a little bit of an extra special, right? Because exactly. But from anyone, just receiving a letter and getting something in the mail when they don't normally get that is kind of exciting. So they do a tremendous job, and just shout out to them too for all that they do. We really do have a great community.
Absolutely. And I think that's coming back to that same idea of community and that togetherness and that belonging. it's pretty amazing to see. I think not only in the Central Valley, but our university, I feel like we have a really strong sense of community when it comes to our veterans. I know we have our incredible Veterans Day parade that is an opportunity for individuals to come and celebrate our veterans. We always do our kind of veteran celebration here on campus, which I know will be happening next week, which is incredible. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to immerse ourselves in that environment, and to say thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is their time. We all
Absolutely.
get a time in the year, and this is their time to get that extra special celebration that they deserve. So, yeah, I hope everyone goes out and enjoys the parade and enjoys all the upcoming festivities that are happening both on campus and off campus.
Absolutely. And I know, speaking of festivities, there's a lot coming up. I
Holidays,
cannot believe,
can you believe it?
Holidays are around the corner. We're at the end of the calendar year. I cannot believe 2024 is coming to a close. With that, I know comes a lot of fun and festivities of our own at Fresno State. I know we'll have our final Red Friday of the semester on December 6th at 9 o'clock. We also have our Candy Cane Holiday Celebration, which is going to be a whole lot of fun on December 11th from 2 to 4. And then we also have the real launch of our toy drive that we're doing for Fresno State, which second time we're doing this, and an opportunity to collect toys to support our Fresno State employee families, but also for our parent scholars at Fresno State too, which is just an incredible experience and testament, I think, to the holidays for me.
Absolutely. That VetNet training, that's a year-round thing, right?
Right.
But this is a special time of year when it's not as exciting for everyone. And so that toy drive is a way for us to give back to our community and give back to our own. Very similar to what we talked about with the veterans, and there's that connection and community. Here at Fresno State, I really feel like we've built a community here. And last year was our first time that we opened it up, and we've always been a great support of the toy drive, but we were supporting the Salvation Army, which is a wonderful program. But I love the fact that we started this where whatever's brought here is given to someone on our campus. And last year we served, I think it was about 8 to 10 faculty and staff, and then just the remaining toys. I don't remember what that number was, but it was a pretty large number.
I know. I want to say it was around 150 or more parent scholar families, and I got to see their faces as they came and shopped for their kids, and it was just so powerful of an opportunity. Like you said, I think around the holidays we talk a lot about giving back, donating to great causes, and there are so many of them in our local community. But we're a whole nother layer of a community here at Fresno State, and when you know that it's going back to our own home space, I think there's something extra exciting about that opportunity and fulfilling to know that it's going to someone who might really need that to brighten the holidays for them, to let them feel less heavy about the, whether it's the financial expense or the time or with anything along those lines. It's a way to kind of brighten their holiday season, which I love.
Right, absolutely. The holidays aren't always the best time of year for everyone, and so we just have to remember that. We don't know what other people are going through, and just being kind and remembering everyone has a story. Everyone has the day that they have to get through. They get up in the morning and they get through it, and we don't know what that looks like or what that's about. And so just being kind to one another. If we can provide a donation of a toy to give out, that's great. There's also, if you wanted to donate to another cause, there's the Blue Star Moms collect money so that they can send out boxes, and the Honor Flight also does donations because it's free to the veterans. So there's so many things that we can do, but I am really looking forward to this second annual of our toy drive here on campus and giving out to our very own.
Most definitely. And I think in the spirit of that, we'd love to encourage our listeners to find a way to give back. It could be donating a toy. We'd love that. We'd appreciate that to give back to our campus community. But it can also be as simple as saying thank you to a veteran. donating your time with a local community organization. I think there's all sorts of ways we can give back. It's finding what's within our means to do, and identifying that and taking that first step. So I encourage all of you to take that step this holiday season and give back and say thanks to those around you.
Thanks for watching the Bulldog State of Mind podcast. Join us for the next podcast in our series, released each month during our Red Friday celebration and available through our Fresno State Staff Assembly Executive Committee YouTube channel.